And you know, this is what's fucking amazing to me, and this is why I'm such a big fan of Pakistan cricket. They won the 1992 World Cup while match fixing.
Yeah.
Like, can you imagine you're winning the World Cup while three allegedly of your players are still making money on fixing matches?
Right. But I think that's the thing about team sports, no? You know, my first IPL, I have a very interesting story about how I was sitting in the hotel in Kolkata and a guy walked up to me and literally gave me, like, I didn't know, right? It was my first IPL. I had no idea how this works, who comes, what. He brought a menu, like a restaurant menu, sitting at ITC Sonar in Kolkata and gave me this menu card like this and said, बोले ना कुछ order है तो आप players से पूछिए कुछ चाहिए क्या उनको. And I did not understand. Like, I'm just sitting down over there, like, absolutely clueless. I'm having a conversation. He's like, "Aap kya karte ho?" I said, "I did digital, jo bhi first time hai, sir." Conversation, you know, excited to tell what I do and all that stuff. This guy is like, "देखिए मेरा number यहाँ पे है. किसी player को आप connect कीजिए. कुछ खाना चाहिए तो मैं दे दूँगा उनको. आप बोलिए उनको." To my luck, Yusuf Pathan and Robin Uthappa was sitting right behind. So Yusuf sent one of the security guys to literally pick me from my collar like this and drag me. And I was warned. I was told, if you speak to anybody in these hotel lobbies ever again, you will be thrown out and your contract will be cancelled. So then Yusuf said, "वो मेरे को fixer लगा, इसीलिए I pulled you out of there." वो दिखा मेरे को. They can tell. They're so smart, you know, these guys.
Shit, that's crazy.
That's so crazy. Because imagine in the middle of nowhere, you're sitting with a menu card saying, "कुछ player को कुछ चाहिए तो आप बोलो order करो."
I mean, but and Yusuf Pathan is so strong, he could have like picked you up himself and put you on the side also.
No, imagine just suddenly your hand going like that, like just like that and dragging me out. And that was the last time I ever spoke to any stranger during IPL in a hotel lobby. Now I reach, I go straight to the room because they're very strict, yeah. They're very strict.
What did this guy look like who came up?
Very regular guy. Very regular guy. You know, just pant, shirt, whatever. Like, you can't tell that he's thing. But I think these guys have been around in so many hotels and so many things. And in their careers, they've seen so many of these strange people that they're so sharp. They can just tell, you know, that there's something evidently wrong with these people. Like, they can just see behavior and figure it out, I think. Like, for you and I, like, it's just a regular person. But for these guys, they can read through. I feel like they can read. You get better at reading people, right? Like, I'm sure, like, for you guys, when you go up on stage, you know who can take a joke sitting in the front row and not. You'll pick and choose. I feel like it's that. I feel like they're very smart with dealing with the outside world.
But you know, Danish, the trouble also is sometimes when friends say, "Oh, this match was thrown, that match was thrown," and they'll say, "Oh, this person bowled slowly, etc." But that if that bowler is already shit from the beginning, you can't tell. You know, you're like, "Oh, but he's so shit." How do you know that it wasn't just the regular bowling only?
Yeah, there was just one towel hanging with him this time. That's it. The bowling was the same as always.
They're like, "Oh, Srishant got hit for so many sixes. He threw the match." Now that all came out. But if you look at the statistics, Srishant for matches he hasn't thrown has been hit for more sixes.
Maybe he was being paid to play well.
Like that Mohammad Asif snowball. Mohammad Asif snowball, when he came.
Mohammad Amir, not Asif. Amir, no?
Amir.
Huh.
He overstepped the line. How much? Yeah? That the commentators only were baffled. They were like, "Oh my God, something's wrong here." Mark Nicholas is going like, "There's clearly something wrong here. That didn't look quite normal to me. That's a very big no ball." And you're like, "Oh, something is wrong here then, right?"
Dude, in that kind of situation, you want Virender Sehwag in the commentary because he would have said, "Fix hai yaar."
Yeah, and then Anil Kumble would show up and say, "That's not what I taught you."
Call back, yes.
Yeah, but that is everything. I'm damn curious about this. So you were sitting in a hotel and this guy, like, but he just saw you hanging with the cricketers and he's like, "This guy is fuck, dude."
Also, I was 24 or 25. And I had never, you know, in any which case, I feel like any big opportunity that you get when you're young, it just overwhelms you and you don't know where to draw the line. Like, you sitting in a hotel lobby, you're wearing an RCB t-shirt, it just means that you're a part of the team, right? You're a part. So everyone knows that. And this was my first ever IPL. I have never ever been, let alone like traveling with a team. I hadn't been to the stadium to watch them play. So you're excited, you're young, you're excited, you're happy to talk to people, you want to tell what you do. It's that, right, when you're younger. So I was sitting down there like, I was 25, I think then, 7 years ago this was. And then to just sit down there and then know that shit, this is actually a threat. It shook me. It really shook me. And the kind of people we see at these hotel lobbies when we travel, because the security is so strict. Like strict to a point where, these after parties and all that used to happen.
Yeah.
All that is stopped now. Now teams just go and like just hang out by themselves after a match, whether they win, they lose. Like RCB's case, it's usually lose, but I'm saying they just go hang out and then they go back. So there's very little interaction between regular people and them. Like if you have to get a guest and come to the hotel, you have to take permission from the team manager, which goes to the anti-corruption guy, which goes to the SLOs, and then you can bring people in.
Wow.
Wow, you know what? I didn't know Mr. Nags was so powerful in the RCB setup. It's like,
become a part of the team, right? To become a part of the team.
So, you know what? All I'm imagining is that in my head, I'm like, if that conversation had gone on for a minute longer, the news would have been Mr. Nags suspended for 6 months, fined 30% of his match fees for just talking to a bookie.
Yeah, which is basically my entire salary would have gone. That's what.
No, but you know what? I mean, this is, I'm sure, like, you're 24 at the time, and can you imagine being like a 22-year-old cricketer who's not seen shit, right?
And what you're getting into. Yeah, you don't know. Because the conversation is so normal, like, aap kya karte hain? And then you're telling, main aisa digital, whatever, right? You're just saying, like, it's very regular conversation that you're having. And the next thing you realize is these guys are like, ye menu card hai, kuch chahiye. And even then it didn't strike me because, see, when you're getting a per diem of $50 or something like that, firstly, per diem itself was new to me, right? Now, for people like us, if you go to a star hotel, you will not eat there if you're going to live there for 5 days, 6 days, 7 days. You'll order from outside. Am I right or no?
Always.
Right? You'll order from outside or you'll go out and eat because star hotel is very expensive. So for me, I thought it's a genuine thing because I don't know how much money cricketers have. Now, how do I know? So I thought he's genuinely giving a menu. And then to realize, oh my God, this is actually something else. And I didn't. If they hadn't pulled me out,
You know what I was imagining? I was imagining the menu is the items he's offering. Like 4 buys, 2 lakh rupees, 3 no balls, 25 lakhs.
I feel like the magic was in the number that it was there in the menu card, to have it underlined. And that was my warning. The warning was very strict, saying if we see you again talking to somebody, you will get thrown out.
But nothing happened to that guy. Like that guy wasn't like, they didn't like go and say, hey, what are you doing?
So I feel like it's more precaution than response.
Yeah.
If you're a really shady cricketer, if you are a really shady bribe-taking cricketer, if you get a menu like this, I bet you can negotiate also. You can be like, "Ek catch ka bahut kam de rahe." Like you can get into that. It's like, "Ab 5 wicket ka ye itna kam market rate much higher hai." I'm sure some shady guy can fully negotiate.
Yeah. But they're very strict, yeah. Like the rules are very strict.
That's actually quite good to know because my heart broke, man. I actually stopped watching cricket after. I'm like, koi fayda nahi. I invest my emotion so much into it, sala, it's all sold off only.
No, it's not, yeah. Like you travel with the team and you realize how strict they are, and you know them personally and you realize the kind of integrity that they have because the amount of money they make just playing the game, it's too little for them to sell their soul and say, okay, I'll do something wrong. And I don't think these guys will ever get into a situation like that.
Yeah, but the heartbreak is I grew up on cricket. My dad, I'm a test cricket of all the things. My dad used to watch, so I would watch and automatically love happened. And now what bothers me is, when India actually achieves something also, you'll always have these bunch of naysayers saying, "Are bika hua hai, are kharida hua hai," and it really bugs me because I know the amount of hard work that would have gone in there. It's heartbreaking to achieve something and then be told that you're a sellout,
Yeah.
So, but a couple of these people have brought this onto the game,
I think WWF, at one point I believe it was real. Then when I went to Papa Shango and Warlord fight, I was like, Ya Allah, my full childhood has come crumbling down in front of me.
But even with cricket, I've been a fan of cricket since like 1991, probably, if not earlier than that. And I even with the whole match fixing thing, I never tuned out because of the integrity of the players that I liked. Like none of the players I liked were involved in the fixing thing, right? And I'm like I'm still watching it because I know that probably like Sachin is incorruptible. I know that Dravid was incorruptible. I mean, dude,
Yeah.
like can you imagine Rahul Dravid ever being involved in like anything even close to that shit? So I was like, fuck, these guys are the reason I'm continuing to watch this sport because I think it's about the people who are rising above and not even rising above, just doing their fucking job, right? So I literally continued watching. I never stopped watching cricket because of these people because I realized that every system is corruptible and the problem which we had for the longest time, specifically from the subcontinent, was a lot of these guys weren't getting paid enough in their heads and they thought ki more opportunity to get fucking money, nobody's going to catch us. So I mean, not defending them, but yeah.
Dosto, please follow Danish Seth, Anubhav Pal, and Niti Palta all across social media and keep coming back for Sunday morning live on my YouTube channel, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. IST every Sunday with new guests. And please subscribe, check out new videos, and in comments, let me know if you still watch cricket and if not, why.